Hello, I haven't posted in a little bit, and I want to tell you a story that I haven't told yet on this channel. My YouTube channel, Exploring the Paranormal with Tricia Brown. And so I have told this story on podcasts, not a ton of podcasts, because I have many Sasquatch, tree people, Bigfoot experiences to share, and about how I got into it and things like that, that by the time I'm finishing up, I'm like, oh yeah, and then there was that experience and then that one. And so I want to share about this unique experience I had. So I've already shared on, some, like back in 2000, when was it? 2020 is when I shared my teleporting story, and that's on my YouTube channel. So go check that out. This experience was not teleporting, but I feel like I got to see, I don't want to say it, like an area of land only one time. And then I knew exactly where I went in off trail to this area in the forest. And I tried a zillion times after that to find this area, and I couldn't. So I had just moved up to Helena, Alabama. And by the way, there's David. We just are leaving from being on such a fun hike out in this wildlife management area in northwest Florida, like the Panhandle, like close to Alabama. And I've been going on these trails for like 2 years, and just yesterday, because of the fact that these couple creeks were low enough that I could walk across, there's still water, but I was able to like step on that rock and then like leap over and like be on the other side of the creek and keep going. And then they trimmed some bushes, so I was able to keep walking farther into this area, and I came upon some really pretty like trails like this wide, but with grass, like mowed, like natural grass, and then just the woods on each side. And then out there where I was able to find, there's the Nature Conservancy out there, so more just natural land. So we had a great time. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you about that. So okay, all right, let me tell you this is super interesting. Okay, so I really felt like I wanted to be back up higher in elevation. I had lived in Eureka, Montana for 6 months, so I definitely got to experience that. That was amazing. And then from there, I came over here to Pensacola, Florida, December of 2020. And then after being in Pensacola for about a year, I'm like, okay, I really am missing being back up in some elevation. So I ended up moving 4 hours north into central Alabama. And I also was missing the connection I was having with the tree people. And I wasn't really seeing a whole lot of evidence of them, in that time frame. Like maybe 1 or 2 possible like tree manipulation things, but nothing where I was like, oh yeah, they're letting me know that they're there. And so within a couple weeks, like within a month, I was having experiences already, like within the month. So maybe after a couple weeks or 3 weeks. And so I had found out about an area in the woods that connected from a residential area. And so I parked in the residential area and I started going on this trail, and the people would drive their 4-tracks out there, the 4-wheelers, and there was some steep ups and downs, and so when I went out there, and then there was just, some things like this, and then there was hills to walk up. I'm like, oh my God, I had so missed walking uphill and having some just, rolly hill experience of trails in the woods. And so when I went out there, I brought my parrot and I brought my dog Lucy. And now that I'm thinking about it, there was 2 areas that I feel like I was allowed to see. And so the first area was kind of walking on a trail like this, but going on some uphills, not like steep, cliff faces or anything like that, but just some elevation gain was nice. And then I saw off to the left, let's say, off to the left, it's very thick of pine needles and like dry leaves. And there was like a walking trail, like squished down from like lots of, just it happening in the spot. It became a trail. But to me, it looked more like a person trail, like a walking trail, but more like a single track trail through the woods. And so I went on it, and then I remember seeing this like a couple saplings, sort of maybe like 4-inch trees that were pulled down, but they were pulled down like they arched across, but then were sort of almost like parallel to the ground, and then went down to the ground. And there was something about it that stood out to me. Like, I wonder if this is some evidence of them out there. And I put my bird up there, and I was walking all around checking it out, see if I could see anything out there, any structures, and my dog Lucy was just following along with me. And then we left, and then we kept going up, got back on the main trail, and then kept going up higher, like just continuing on with our exploring on the trails out there. And the time of the year, yeah, so it seemed to be a time of the year where no one had been out there for a while. Like, it looked pretty, like, I don't know, like, let's say, gosh, when did I move up there? Was it in May or something? April, May, something like that. And so it just seemed like the forest had some time free of humans walking out there or their quads. And so it didn't look like motorcycle tracks either. It wasn't like a motorcycle trail. It looked like a walking trail. And so I see this off to the left, a little bit past that first spot. And so I start walking on it, and I'm walking like doesn't look like how it looks out there. That out there is way too thick of growth. There was space between the what kind of trees was it? Was it just like pine trees, like the skinny tall pines out on this side? With that, I could more space between the trees in this spot. And so, but there were trees, and I noticed, I could not believe my eyes. This whole particular section of this trail, there was arches along the whole trail. Small arches, like low to the ground, going across. Like the road, the trail would go straight, and then right before a right turn, there was this really, like, I think at that time was the tallest arch that I've seen with the log placed over the top. And then I curved around to the right, and then there was one off to the right side of the trail, and then there was one like going across the whole trail, and just on and on of like different arches, different sized arches all along this walking trail. And so it wasn't like all the way down to the ground, the trail. It was still very thick pine needle, but squished down because someone had been walking out there. But it was wider than a deer trail. And so I was fascinated. I felt like I was at Disneyland. I was like, wow, this is mind-blowing. For real, like for real. It was amazing. And so I did the trail, and then it sort of came to a spot where I could then hook back on to the main trail that was more, like this, like the fire road sized trail. And then I decided it was time to go back or something like that. I can't remember. But so the next time I wanted to go back out there and check out that spot again, and I couldn't find it. I was like, well, maybe it's because the weather's changed and the the ground looks different, so I can't see the trail. But I was able to see another trail that was this like more used for real trail. Like guys would, the motorcycles would go out there, and then not as many people walked out there like me, but I did. So like a motorcycle sized trail that was there. So I was able to see that every time after that. I tried over and over and over again. I was able to know pretty much exactly where that trail started, like where it led me from, like off to the left, and it curved all around in there, and then it came around, right turns, right curves, and then back onto the trail. And so it was kind of in the corner, the way that the main trail curved around to the left and there was sort of almost like just a left turn. So there was this kind of rounded corner that was very obvious. And I walked all around in there over and over and over and over again. It was just bizarre. So what I had to come to is that, which is amazing to me, is that they were letting me see and go into like another dimension, is what I feel. There is no other explanation to me. It's the most logical explanation. I was there. I got to see land. I was walking on land. And it's not there anymore. It's other. It looks different. It doesn't. That trail's not there. Those trees are not there. So that's what I'm saying. It's not just that the trail isn't there, but that way that those trees were winding, the trail was winding through and around these many arches that very much stood out. So they allowed me to see it that one time, and it's amazing. Okay, so wanted to share that. And then the other experience that I had out there with them is that one time it was just me and my bird walking out there, and it was like sort of a subtle knowing that something ran not right behind me, like super close that it made a breeze as it went by, like not that close, but I would say maybe like 20 feet behind me. It crossed behind me on the trail, and my bird, my parrot, my macaw, who I've taken out with me, like I've had her 29 and a half years. She's been around me when there's been many experiences. She's always been totally fine, but there's been a few times where she will react, like she'll turn her head, like she heard that, or she felt that, or she saw that, or whatever. And I've even had where she's looking up, like above me, way up in the sky, and she's not way up in the sky, but like at a certain height above me, and she's looking at something, and I can't see it. And I'm like, whoa, what is it? What are you seeing, Manny? Okay, so, but this time, so it's like I felt it and heard it, this sort of subtle something really big and really fast running behind me, and then went up into the off trail and then ran to the left of me, past me. But I couldn't see anything. It was like it was invisible. But my bird noticed it too. And I'm very aware of deer, how they run. I can see deer, when they, you can, the way that they will cross, you can see them as they run. So that was really cool. And I have other experiences that I had very quickly, and then the whole time I lived up there, they definitely let me know that they're there many times in that part of the world right there, in central Alabama, in Helena, Alabama. So anyways, wanted to share that. So has anyone else out there had an experience like this, and or do you know someone else that did? I'd love to hear about it. And so yeah, thanks for listening. Okay, and thank you everybody who is here. I appreciate you. It's nice to make some friends out here, and like, feel free to comment or say something to me. Let me know where you're from, or if you like my videos, or if you want to hear more, or want some more details on what I've said already, or whatever. Just would love to hear from you. I mean, it's just I appreciate knowing that people get what I'm talking about. Okay, have a great day. Bye.